Does PlayStation want to fail? That is the question. It's the question on the thumbnail and the title, probably, of this video, if that's what my editor goes with. Anyway, according to Herman Holst, if they're going to fail, PlayStation wants to fail early and fail cheap. And I know
that explains all the AA games that you people have been getting. The days of AAA from Sony is over. And that's what I was trying to tell you people. Gamester, what another W.
You're thinking, you're seeing Concord behind me, and you're like, oh my gosh, that wasn't cheap. Well, listen, before I even get into the video, we need to clarify that the $400 million and the $200 million number that continues to get thrown around was not money spent by PlayStation.
Here we go again. What are you talking about? They acquired the studio. What are you even saying, bro? This man is damage controlling beyond belief, man. I'm surprised that you even still have a YouTube channel spewing this nonsense. What are you talking about, Jimmy Neutron? I mean, you got a big forehead, but yet for some reason, your brain must be the size of a peanut. I feel like throwing at you like that damn oyster. Shut up. Nobody want to hear this crap no more.
Continually gets misrepresented, okay?
Oh, here we go, misrepresented. That's what's going on. Reforge Gaming, you is a joke, okay? You're a joke. I mean, what do you mean misrepresented? Matter of fact, let's go see the evidence for ourselves. It was just fireworks money. I'm telling you, Sony didn't lose no money. It was just fireworks money. I'm telling you. I'm a fanboy from the stables. It was fireworks money. Look at the bottom. Total Concord cost Sony over $400 million, not including the studio acquisition and IP rights, bro. Which means that it was even more than that. And you was out here telling people that it was just fireworks money.
That was for multiple projects. All of that money did not go into Concord, and none of it came from PlayStation. PlayStation did, in fact, I would say, lose by purchasing a studio that had a game that didn't go anywhere.
It says it right there, bro. Now we out here arguing with AI. Now, bro, what are we doing, bro? This is, I don't know what type of, this is an extreme case of pony dust, bro. I have never seen PlayStation fanboys go out like this. You guys are some of the worst individuals in this community, to the point where you was out here lying to people that Sony didn't lose no money. It was fireworks money. What are you talking about, bro? The proof is right there.
But the idea that PlayStation lost $200 or $400 million is actually false. It's not.
It said it right there. What do you mean it's false? Two people can't be right in this situation. It's either me or you, and I can guarantee that you're wrong. Let's hear that again.
PlayStation did, in fact, I would say, lose by purchasing a studio that had a game that didn't go anywhere. But the idea that PlayStation lost $200 or $400 million is actually false.
How was it? It just said it, bro. How was it false, bro? This guy, man, I'm telling you, man. I'm very surprised that people still watch this man's channel after this, bro. Like, you was out here spewing garbage. You ain't nothing but a fanboy. And it's so nice to see you guys seething so hard. I know it hurts your soul. I know it really does, you know, to see PlayStation fail right in front of you. But like I said, you know, those 80 million console sales, they ain't helping you.
Factually correct. Please stop making videos claiming that, and, you know, let's be accurate.
You need to stop making videos claiming that it didn't happen. You need to accept the reality of what PlayStation is doing. That's what you need to do. You're out here telling everybody, oh, stop talking about the 200, 400 million, you know, the much money that Sony lost with this game. Why? To defend your fanboy feelings? Matter of fact, the fact that you said it, we're going to talk about it even more, because we know it bothers you.
In what we talk about here. Okay, but on this subject, okay, there was a Financial Times interview. And in the interview, they said this in the article, Sony is seeking to ensure that its first-party studios, 20 standalone groups that make games exclusively for its PlayStation console, contribute...
Which is what? Because Lost Soul Aside dropped on PC day and date, and Sony had involvement with the game. It even says Sony on the damn box cover. Bro, what are y'all talking about, bro? Oh, no, that's not a Sony game. Bro, it's so funny. Neither was your games on PlayStation 1 and 2, and y'all called them Sony games. I remember Tekken 1, 2, and 3. Those weren't Sony games either. And look where those games are gone. Multiplat, right? But back in the days, y'all said, that's a PlayStation. What PlayStation games are we talking about? It seems like the ones that come out of PlayStation are complete trash.
More to the overall revenue growth and take measured risks, all without squashing the independence each studio demands to produce hits. Now, in this interview and in this article, when that's being stated, it's pretty clear that PlayStation is not pivoting away from its first-party studios making exclusives,
What exclusives are you talking about? Lost Soul Aside is a game that they had working on, you know what I mean, with the one guy at the studio. They funded it, they backed it, even though we got bad scores on Metacritic. I think that's besides the point, but a lot of people are not liking it. Okay, that's what I'm going off. And that was a Sony game. Nobody cares to play it.
Despite all the false narratives that we saw because of a job posting and people not understanding what an executive said about platforms, but that's a whole other story. That
it seems like you don't understand. Look at him rubbing his face. Look at it. What, you going to rub a teardrop coming out of your glasses? Bro, I told y'all. The Sony stables is in shambles, man. We had Malice in the Palace, and now we got shambles in the stables. Okay? Like, this is what we got now, man. And this is crazy. This man's crying. He can't contain himself no more.
Different live stream. This is what Herman Hulse said, though, on the subject of live service, which is a separate subject entirely. I actually don't think they're going to be leaning on their first-party studios any longer for live service. He said, quote, "I don't want teams to always play it safe, but I would like for us, when we fail, to fail early and cheaply." Now, this is what's making all the headlines,
and
right?
This is good news for PlayStation? We should be excited that PlayStation would rather cut their losses early before we can have any enjoyment. What kind of company is this? I'm worried about what I'm getting. And at the end of the day, regardless of how bad Concord was, Sony, you could have put it through a PlayStation. There's no justification as to why you shut this game off. You could have put the game on Xbox. You could have put the game on... I don't think people would have bought it. That means even PlayStation knew the game sucked. They even knew. And some of you fools bought into that idea. And I'm saying to you that PlayStation is going to push for more of a multi-platform strategy. The same strategy that you guys have been bashing Microsoft for the past few years already.
Is that, we want to fail early and cheaply. Okay? He also said that the high number target of...
And how is that a benefit to consumers? People that actually did enjoy the game can't even play it. How about Sony? Like I've said before, how about if they just pushed it through your subscription? I mean, is that's what they're promoting? Why completely destroy the game? Some people did enjoy it, and maybe if you pushed it through the subscription service that people pay for, you're throwing out all these other third-party games. Oh, because that's what you guys like to play. You don't like actual exclusives. So they could have done that, and that might have helped revitalize the game. But instead, they would rather destroy it. But yet, y'all giving PlayStation credit because they're cutting their losses early and acting as if that's a benefit for y'all?
Service games that was previously set by Jim Ryan. That's not actually the focus.
Oh, you're still blaming Jim,
The number of live service releases is not so important. What is important to me is having a diverse set of player experiences and a set of communities. Now, this lines up with previous things that Herman Hulse said about how they weren't just going to make a bunch of Fortnites. They wanted to have games that were spanning multiple genres and multiple audiences. And I always said, I feel like they're going to be placing small bets. Helldivers 2 was a small bet. Not a huge budget, not a lot of publishing dollars.
But that's concerning to me because you got Sony out here pushing next generation, current generation, 36 teraflops of power on the Pro, and we're out here getting AA games. Like I've told you before, games to win another W. Didn't I tell you that Microsoft will be the only company pushing AAAs? Didn't I say that? Nintendo ain't pushing out AAAs, and neither is Sony. You're like, oh, snap games. So Microsoft, listen, I'm going to say it like this, right? Because I come up with my own models. Microsoft is the best place to play AAA gaming when it comes to consoles. All right? It's the AAA system. That's what it is. You get all the good AAAs at a reasonable price of Game Pass Ultimate. Something you can't get on the competition on PlayStation.
Marketing went into it, and then the game explodes and goes viral. That was well worth it, right? And other live service successes in games like Gran Turismo 7 and MLB The Show.
Okay.
Also, Marvel Tokyo Fighting Souls could be a significant win for them.
Which is also on that game, bro. It's a fighting game, bro. It's a fighting game. It's not going to last very long. I'm telling you right now. And the game is coming to Xbox and Nintendo. I'm telling you. I don't know why we keep saying these games are exclusive, bro. Like, we get it. We know why they're doing it because Sony runs Evo, and the best way to push a fighting game is through evolution. So they know. That's how Sony's money-hatting these strategies. They're trying to alleviate these things. People's like, oh, but it's Marvel license. They can push it. Yes, and that's even more of a reason why it's going on Xbox.
And the budget behind that game is probably nowhere near some of their...
Leave Marvel alone, Sony. Make your own games. You ain't got your own characters.
The return on that investment could be absolutely enormous. Case in point, the success of Marvel Rivals. The Marvel IP is very strong, especially in gaming. Now, he also acknowledged, however,
they're out here using license agreements because they can't even put their own games, bro. This is sad, bro. This is a sad day for PlayStation Nation.
And you're going to be doing these different games in different
small bets.
It's like, hey, we got to be more rigorous in our testing, as I'm showing you Concord.
Wow. You know what I mean? This guy's ridiculous. I'm showing you Concord.
Gracious, what's going on here?
Goodness gracious.
We have since put in place much more rigorous and more frequent testing in very many different ways.
Oh, really? Is that why Lost Soul aside and the gamers are... It's so funny. You guys say that everybody gamers don't buy games, but yet only 1,500 people was caught playing that game, Lost Soul aside, on Steam, and I can guarantee the sales is even far worse on Sony. Nobody cares about your games. This is what I've been telling you. Nobody wants to play them. Your games suck. Your games are trash. Your PS5 ain't nothing but a paperweight, bro. That's all it is, man. And you guys want to keep holding, but we got Airbox. Okay, and I got them on my Airbox. What's so special about PS5? You tell me. You tell me. Your controller's trash. You ain't got no good third-party accessories. All of them are over expensive. If I want an Xbox controller on PS5, I got to pay $200 for one. On Xbox, I could pay $20, $30, $40, $50. It's quite reasonable. And on top of that, I could use it with Xbox One, Xbox One Series and PC. While PlayStation's only for the PS5 because of the DualSense technology. I'm starting to think they put this technology in this controller to gatekeep you so you can't use all your old accessories. I'm starting to think that because Sony and Nintendo are doing that. You know what I mean? If you're like, oh, snap case, you're right. So this new technology they keep adding, like I said, keep it away from my games because this whole, you can't use a PS4 controller to play some PS5 games is ridiculous, even with the same layout.
The advantage of every failure is that people now understand how necessary the oversight is. Now, this begs the question.
But when everybody failed, it wasn't about an oversight of their failure. Look at it, he put his hands up like, stop now, bro. You're going too far with this. Bro, but when it was Airbox, they were dead. Nobody wanted the platform. You know what I'm saying? But now all of a sudden it's Sony. They got to look past their failures so they can get better. Well, they still failing. We talked about Concord, and now we out here talking about Lost Soul aside.
Does this mean that they want to launch Marathon and just let's see if it fails quickly?
It's most definitely going to fail.
We're looking at Concord, right?
Considering that you're a betting man,
that Marathon is going to be very similar to Concord. It is going to fail, and it is going to fail fast. I would argue Marathon's already failed.
Look at this. PlayStation fanboys out here talking about their failures. Like, how are we benefiting? PlayStation 5, we playing Gear War, we loaded. Bruh, you people are stupid, bro. No wonder the PlayStation fan base is the laughing stock of the gaming community. I'm going to tell you what the best thing about PS5 is. Y'all ready for it? That's right. Playing Xbox games. That's all it's good for. But even then, you still don't have the best Xbox experience because you still don't have Game Pass Ultimate and the glorious Xbox controller. Quick resume. Backwards compatibility fully. Dev mode where I can play more PS2 in 1 games on my Xbox than I can play on PlayStation. Look at you dummies. You PS5, y'all like, man, games, you right, man. This is going to make people want to trade in a PS5 because the PS5 sucks. Metal Gear Solid Delta, twash. Y'all have another game that's not running well on that system. It's running better on that Series X. I thought you had the most powerful console in the planet.
Failed to capture attention. Failed to get people excited. They did.
But it's so funny how they talk about Sony's failures, right? You see how Microsoft is successful in what they do, but then they still fail. But then you talk about PlayStation's failures. Every time they bring it up, and then Sony's doing fine. Sony's doing fine. Sony's doing fine. But this is what you're talking about. You're not saying Sony's doing good. You're saying Sony's doing bad. But if I say how's Sony doing as a business, they're doing good. They're doing good. Bro, if you was a betting man, a man would bet that Marathon's gonna fail day one. We need a draft game kings on here because I'd be making so much money. I'd be like, Marathon failure. I'm gonna put freaking 10,000 on that, and I'm gonna walk out with 100, 1,000. Like, bro, We need a game DraftKings version of video gaming, because if this is the type of bets that I'm making, bro, listen, I'll be walking out with some money.
Showcase of an alpha. They made their alpha public. They
Oh,
didn't
here we
change
go,
anybody's
alpha.
opinion. Then they got caught doing art theft. That was a huge controversy. The stream defending that, apologizing for it. I guess you could say they were taking accountability for it, which they really didn't. They passed the buck on some mythical, invisible person. I think the game's already failed. And wouldn't it be cheaper if you're trying to fail quickly and fail cheaply? Hasn't it already failed quickly? And wouldn't it be cheaper to just be like, why would we ship this? Like,
because Sony doesn't care about you. They're not thinking about you. They're trying to sucker you fools. Bro, you guys don't even realize Sony is already dead right in front of you. The true essence of what PlayStation signifies and represents is over. Therefore, the console war is over. Therefore, there's no competition. Therefore, it doesn't matter. But you're still here fighting this war, Reforge.
Independently, and they're the ones publishing it, right? But let's say they put it out there, and it's terrible, and then you got to lay more people off. Well,
here we go.
That's going to result in either talent loss.
This is what happens when gamers focus more on the business aspect and less in regards to what they're getting. But don't worry, Phil Spencer with the cigar in his mouth, you know, he's going to make sure he take care. Oh, we can't do that to these ponies during the holidays. You know, they've been so hurtful towards us. But we're still going to drop games for them. Matter of fact, we're still making money off Gears of War Reloaded. It's a 2006 game. Pony's been looking forward to playing it. You know, give our community the free upgrade. Let the ponies pay for, you know, we good people here. You know, we haven't. That's crazy. You got Microsoft treating you like a charity organization because your platform can't even hold its own merits and its own weight no more. That's what irritates me. Say whatever you want about Xbox, but Xbox still has they standout games. They're just going multi-plat in a lot of these titles, but that's fine. They still have. Microsoft still gives people a reason to be like, okay, if you like Xbox games, the best place to play them is on PC and Xbox. It still is. You can't say, oh, it's better on Sony. Not every game's available on Sony. You still gotta wait for games. You're playing Gears of War Reloaded. I can play all the Gears of Wars now. 360, Xbox One, and the new one. What are you talking about? There's no benefit. I don't need an Xbox because you got one old-ass game from 20 years ago. Oh, I don't need an Xbox no more. What are you talking about? That's so stupid. That's the dumbest logic I've ever heard. I don't need an Xbox no more. You know, like while you sitting there waiting years to get Halo, you could have already been playing it. You don't even need the series to play. You could buy an Xbox One for probably $60 on eBay and play Halo. Like, you guys are that much of a fan, but you're like, damn, Games, you're right. Xbox Ones ain't even that expensive. There's no excuse as to why somebody can't be involved within the Xbox ecosystem besides people being biased. Because I'm telling you, even if you don't want the series, you could buy an Xbox One and be like, oh, you know, I don't really like Xbox, but, you know, this is just kind of a side project and I just have access to their games and some games on Game Pass, obviously if they're not next gen, but you have your PS5 for that. You know, I'm like, because if I was a fanboy, even though I'm not, I would have a PS5 and then I'll have an Xbox One on the side. If I'm one of those dudes that are like, I don't support Microsoft, I would have a PS5 and then I'd have an Xbox One X. That's how I would do it. You see what I'm saying? Because I want access to games and then you see, you get what I mean? You get access to both fields, and with Xbox, I'm not giving them that much money. You know what I mean? That's how I would see it as a fanboy perspective. I wouldn't be doing this crap. Waiting 20 years for an old-ass Gears of War game. Now, that's ridiculous.
Studio that PlayStation owns, or they're going to have to absorb those employees and shoulder more operational costs. SIE has already absorbed 200 to 300 people. They spun up a new studio called LFG for the government.
I'm done. You know what I'm saying? This man's damage controlling the whole video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, man. Make sure you guys share this video around, man. I already know Sigs and Cyril's gonna get up on this, man. This guy's ridiculous, bro. I don't get it, bro. Why do you do this, bro? Why? You know what I'm saying? What's going on in that head of his, man? I'm telling you, he got a big forehead, but his brain is the size of a peanut. I just want to throw it at that oyster. Shut up, you stink. You know, and this man out here singing PlayStation lullabies to everybody. You know, telling people PlayStation ain't dead, you know, they ain't failing, even though he's talking about their failures right now. I'm done, man. I'm getting up out of here. Take care.